Hey there, YouTubers. So, this is Eric Carlson, the guy from Carlson's Customs. You may have remembered the guy that started the F100 Marquis build some time ago. Kind of like a song. It's been rumored that I died. Actually, it's not true. I have just been on a big, the build's been on a big postpone. And this issue is kind of bittersweet, so it's fitting that it's episode 13. Let's see, what can I tell you? A lot has gone on in the last few months. So, got married, got a new job, relocated, a bunch of other things. So, the sweet part is, as you saw from the front, from the intro there, the bed's on, and the front clip is on. It is the furthest the truck has ever been to being a mock-up being complete. So I'm stoked. I love it, and I hope you enjoy the video. You're gonna have to bear with me because the editing is gonna be a mess because it's come at different times and it's gonna be a real pieced together job. So just bear with me here, but here we are. So hopefully you enjoy the build. Hopefully those of you that are still building your own, that there will be some last bit of tidbits out there for you to get your body situated on the frame. So what's the bitter part? That truck is going to be on hold for a while because I'm just not going to be able to work on it for probably 6 months, if not more. So it's going to be sitting in a cocoon a little bit. So that's the bummer part. That's the bitterness. But I appreciate the followers sticking around and even chiming in every now and then and asking, "Hey, where's episode 13?" Thanks for even sticking around long enough to ask that. It did really keep me motivated. So this isn't a forever goodbye, but no, screw it. Just look at the videos and see what you think. Okay, so frame modifications. I'm going to start at the front, and so far I'm only doing the front and rear mounts, and once I get it situated the way I want it, I'll come back and put in the middles, but they'll be easy. So what I did here, just mimicked exactly how I did my cab mounts. Did the same thing with the frame, or most front bed mount, and again repurposing, I guess, because that's a common word these days, the Mercury Grand Marquis body mounts. So got the hole, this fits in there, and bam. So that is how I did those. And as far as the back goes, so I lopped off 9 inches of the frame. But before I did that, I welded in this. That way the frame wouldn't have a chance to spread or anything. I don't think it would have, but I'm just going to roll the dice. So, and this was rather easy because all this is a piece of angle iron. And all I did was cut a slot in the frame, drop this in, and then weld it around it. So, and the purpose of this is not only to keep the frame tied together in the back here, but up top here, probably around here, over here somewhere, will be, coincidentally, the rear bed mounts. They're going to go right there. So here's what I'm going to have to do to the bed. Let's see. So it would have been a perfect, absolute dream, except for it to sit down correctly as far as forward to back. This in the middle here and on the sides is too high, so I'm gonna have to cut those out. So I'm gonna cut those out and I will show you how that worked. But also I will have to show you, and I will momentarily, just bear with me, how much of a hole to cut in the bed. So let me get back to the saw, finish this up, but here's what you gotta do to the frame. And there's that cut to fit. Just straight across. And I tell you what, if you have the opportunity, if you do this like I'm doing it, and you have the people or the support, put this thing upside down in your yard and cut it that way. Don't be a goon and cut it dangling from a engine hoist, because it sucks. Alright fans, so those of you, both of you that are left, I know it's been a long time, but here we are, the furthest truck has ever been. Front end's all put together, and aha, bed. Let's check it out. I have to say, I am really happy with the turned out. I know one of the biggest concerns I had, and a lot of followers kind of supported me, is getting the spacing right on the wheels. And also, if you got right there, the amount of gap between the bed and the cab. And I think I found a happy mix, because by mounting the cab on the frame using the pre-existing Grand Marquis holes, I didn't have to move the radiator support. And one of the things I did though is sacrifice having the wheel a little further back in the wheel well than I wanted, but I think it looks pretty good. So then for forward here, obviously it's going to show up somewhere else, so then I had to find the happy medium with the bed, with the wheel being centered, and how much gap I was going to have. And I think I'm happy. I have no complaints here at all. So I know I told you all the measurements I used before, and off the top of my head I can't remember what I used, but I will say what I initially did was I stuck a 2x4 behind the cab, shoved the bed up against it, and set the bed on there and went about making bed mounts. What I didn't think was, at the time the bed was sitting high in the rear, because the upcoming part that you'll see, it sat high in the back, so it was tilted that way. So I made the rest of the bed mounts and forgot to account for that, so when I dropped it back down, it's a little more than a 2x4. I'll have to get you the measurements on what that distance is, but it's acceptable. As far as the gaping hole in the bed, so I was kind of a tool making this cut, so I have to fix it. Otherwise it was real close. But since I was a goob right there, I'm gonna have to make the hole bigger. No big deal. So you can see where I made the cut. I'll switch sides here in a minute. And then as far as the forward side, I cut too much. So let me go to the other side for better lighting. So I still have to figure out how I'm going to fill the gap. Yep, there's the text. Probably the woman purposely screwing with my recording. So there. So if you just cut it there, you'll be fine. But I'm going to have to cut further back now. And like I said, up here, I didn't have to take as much off as I did. So this apparatus here I used just for hoisting the bed, lifting the bed up using my engine hoist. So right now it's being held down to that, the forward bed mounts that I made, and in the back I don't have it bolted down yet because I still, even though I made the cut, this lighting is probably not going to work at all. I still need to make tabs just so I can make a real nice bed mount. As far as the other two bed mounts go, I haven't made them yet, but those will be easy enough. And I have some ideas on what I'm going to do. I'll share those with you later. Let me show you one other thing. See if I can get this. There we go. So I'm gonna, this is part of the bed. This is from the factory. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna extend this plate out a little bit so that this hole is not, has plenty of meat. And then I'll stick a rubber grommet in here. I don't know if I'm gonna get away with using the Grand Marquis ones because I think it'll screw up the rake on the bed, because right now it's pretty good. I'll show you. So you can see it's pretty consistent. So I've got to watch how much pad I put in. So here is the ultimate worst angle where you see light through the other side. But you've really got to find that spot. So I'm happy with it. Show you the other side. But yeah, hell yeah, I'll take that in a heartbeat. I do have I'm not going to worry about making bumper mounts because I bought a roll pan to put back here. And just to show you this spacing. Like I said, it's a little more than I wanted. But I gave up or not get the spacing exactly as I want. I avoided a ton of ass pain, which is what I was after. Now here's a real coincidental, ironic. I know my buddy Greg is shaking his head at me right now. If you look, I think that looks pretty badass. But you're probably looking at the left rear wheel sticking out like that. Well, the bed is pushed in right there, so that's something I'm going to have to fix. But the coincidental, ironic, whatever you want to call it, that is right where the Grand Marquis got hit. Freaky. Anyways, folks. Yeah. Not bad for an amateur. Alright, one last thing for the bragathon here. Yeah. So there she is. What do you think? Good? Bad? I'd be lying if I didn't say that it's turned out better than I thought. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect. But it's pretty damn good for this being my first build of this nature. So it's not done. I'm gonna keep building it. I'm actually stoked because there are things that just in my mind already, how I'm going to do my instrument cluster, things like that. So stay tuned. If you've bared with me this long, so hopefully you'll stick with me, and I'll be popping up every now and then with these other projects to continue the build. One couple last things. Matt from golly, I just forgot his channel. The Unibody guy. Flowmaster 50 series. Go with those on your truck. I think you will love them. I've have them on my 13 Dodge Ram with the Hemi, and they sound great. I didn't want loud or drone or obnoxious, and that one gives you a very deep sound. When you got your foot in it, people are going to know you have your foot in it, but when you chop the throttle, it goes to stealth mode. And then just driving around normal, it's there enough to let you know that, I'm driving a V8, but it's the perfect mix. I just put those same Flowmaster 50s on my 03 Mustang GT, and same thing. It's not obnoxious, no crackly, no redneck hillbilly stuff, but yet it sounds like the true Fox Body 5.0 2 chambers. That's what I would chalk it up to sounding like. So give those a try. I will say you get what you pay for with exhaust. Don't try going to an exhaust shop and going with the knockoff Flowmasters and things like that. I did that with a Grand Marquis of mine and absolutely hated it. And then I went with glass packs on a 97 Thunderbird, and that was dreadful. So just pony up the money, get some Flowmaster 50s, be done. Anyways, back to the rest of y'all. Thanks for everything, and I hope to see you sooner than later, but thanks for the support.